Good morning and happy Sunday. I'm standing in a place tucked back in the woods, lights everywhere, old ornaments, music people recognize before they know why. People move slowly, pointing things out, laughing, and remembering who gave what years ago. What makes a place like this feel meaningful isn't what's for sale, it's that people are here together. And I want to say something many people won't say out loud in December. For a lot of people, this season doesn't feel warm. It feels like a test. Here's today's question. I can't afford much this year. I feel embarrassed and behind. How do I face the holidays when I feel like I have nothing to offer? If you're asking that question, you're paying attention to pressure most people are taught to ignore. And a lot of people feel this and never say it out loud. Naming it is already a refusal to disappear. There were years when staying at home felt much easier than showing up feeling behind. I didn't skip because I didn't care. I skipped because it felt safer. A few years ago, someone told me she skipped Christmas entirely. No gathering, no decorations, no lights. She stayed home because she believed gifts were proof she belonged. Showing up without them felt like standing in a room where everyone could see what she lacked. She told herself staying away would hurt less than being seen. What she didn't expect was the quiet afterwards, not relief, absence. That kind that settles in when the day passes and everyone else has something to talk about. She realized later that skipping didn't protect her, it trained her to disappear. And that's where the real cost shows up. Disappearing once makes disappearing again easier. So here's the hard truth most people avoid. December didn't become this heavy by accident. It became a performance, a season where love gets confused with spending and belonging feels tied to receipts. Social media amplifies it, of course. Advertising profits from it, and people internalize the idea that showing up without proof is risky. That pressure didn't start in your family. It came from a culture that taught you to earn your place. And for some people, this emptiness this season isn't about money at all. It's about grief, a chair that stays empty, a voice that's missing. The pressure to perform happiness on top of loss makes absence louder. Opting out of the performance is uncomfortable for a reason. Gifts hide insecurity. Presence exposes it, and showing up without buying your way in removes the shield. You're no longer impressive, you're visible. And many people fear the moment someone notices and quietly decides they feel sorry for them or talks about them later. Here's the line that matters. If you disappear, the people who love you lose you too. Sit with that for a moment. Not as blame, as reality, because this isn't about convincing yourself you're enough and moving on. It's about deciding how much of yourself you're willing to withhold to avoid discomfort. Look around places like this. Years from now, people won't remember what was bought. They'll remember who stood next to them, who listened, who stayed when it would have been easier to stay away. And when children watch adults show up without pretending, they learn they don't have to earn love later. So let's talk about what actually shifts this season. Instead of apologizing for what you can't give, name what you can. Say it plainly. I'm not doing gifts this year because I want to spend time together. That sentence risks awkwardness. It also protects your dignity at the same time. Instead of skipping gatherings, set terms. Decide how long you'll stay. Decide what you'll participate in. Decide when you'll leave. Listen, one honest hour builds more connection than a full season of absence. And instead of performing cheer, bring one real thing: a walk, a shared story, a simple meal where no one pretends it's perfect. When you stop performing, you give other people permission to stop too. Here's what actually changes things. When people stop disappearing, when they show up without trying to earn their seat, when they choose presence, even while uncomfortable, that choice doesn't feel brave in the moment. It feels exposed, but it rewrites what this season teaches your body and your family over time. The season doesn't need you to spend more. It needs you to stay. A successful holiday isn't measured by what you gave. A successful holiday is one you didn't disappear. That's how memories get made, not by spending more, but by refusing to vanish. Thank you for your question. Your honesty helps others feel people understood. If you want to share yours, email me at drshannon@kfus12.com. And always remember, you are worth it. Lean into being the best version of yourself, one small step at a time. So from my family to yours, I hope you find moments worth staying for. Happy
Happy
holidays.
holidays.